Okay, this is term 3 revision. So topic 1, we are finding different types of angles. Okay, so in this first part, I'm going to look at the revision. So here we have supplementary angles. They add to make 180 degrees. So if we look at these two angles, 120 plus 60 makes 180. These two angles are supplementary. This angle is 40 plus 140, it makes 180. So these angles are also supplementary. Okay, so supplementary means the angles add to make 180 degrees. Now we have complementary. This means the angles add to make 90 degrees. So this is 30 degrees plus 60 degrees. These two make 90 degrees. This is complementary. These two angles are complementary. If we look at this one here, 40 degrees plus this angle, 50 degrees. 40 plus 50 also makes 90. So these two angles are complementary because they make 90 degrees. So supplementary 180 degrees, complementary 90 degrees. Okay. Now we have vertical angles. Vertical angles means when you have two lines that cross each other, the angles that are opposite are vertical. When you have vertical angles or opposite angles, they are the same. This is 75 and this is 75. Or if you look at it this way, these two angles are also vertical. So if this is 105 degrees, this is also 105 degrees. They are the same or congruent. These two angles are congruent. Okay. The last one is called adjacent. When you have two adjacent angles, it means they are next to each other. So if we have this angle here, this is 45 degrees, and this angle is 15 degrees, these two angles share the same line. It shares the same line. They are next to each other. So these two angles are adjacent. Okay? Because this angle is here and this angle is here. They share the same line here. They're next to each other. So they are adjacent. Okay, so question number 1. Using the diagram, determine the relationships between. Okay, let's do question B first. Angle PAL and LAM. PAL is here and LAM is here. So if you see PAL and LAM, they are both sharing the same line here. This means they are adjacent. They are next to each other. Okay, so B, they are adjacent. Okay, now if you look at this question here, PAQ and QAN. So if we look at PAQ and QAN, they are also adjacent. They are sharing the same line here. PAQ and QAN, they are sharing the same line. So these two angles are next to each other. They are adjacent. But if you look at this angle here, this angle is 74 degrees and this angle is 106 degrees. If you add 74 plus 106, you make 180 degrees. So the word for this is supplementary. These two angles are supplementary. So it is adjacent and supplementary. and supplementary. Okay. Question 2. Use the figure to identify a pair of adjacent angles. We have to find the adjacent angles. Adjacent means next to each other. Okay. So let's look at the first one. COB, AOD. COB, AOD. They are not adjacent because we have an angle here and an angle here. They are not sharing the same line. They have different lines. Okay, so they are not adjacent. Let's look at the next one. COA and BOD. COA and BOD. They are also not adjacent because they are not sharing the same line. They are not next to each other. So this is not adjacent. See, AOD and AOC. AOD and AOC. So if we see here, this angle AOD and this angle AOC is using the same line. They are next to each other. They are sharing the same line here. So this one is adjacent. And the last one, COD and AOB. COD, AOB. Well, these angles are not sharing the same line, so they are not adjacent. Okay. Question number 3. In these figures, x equals 11. Are angle 1 and angle 2 supplementary angles? So supplementary, if you remember, means it makes 180 degrees. Okay, so if we look at these angles here, 5x minus 7, and the question says x equals 11. Okay, so 5x minus 7, 5 times 11 minus 7. 5 times 11 is 55, minus 7 equals 48. Okay, and this question here, this angle here, 12x, so 12 times 11 plus 4. 12 times 11, 132, plus 4 equals 136. Okay, the question says, are they supplementary? Do they make 180 degrees? So if I do 48 plus 136, I get 184 degrees. It is not 180 degrees, so they are not supplementary. Not supplementary. Find the measure of angle 1. This is angle 1, and we found the angle is 48 degrees. Equals 48 degrees. Okay, and the last one, question 4, find the value of C. So this is slightly more difficult. I'm going to write down everything I know about this question. So here we have 70 here, and this one is opposite to 70. It's vertical, so they must be the same. If this is 70, this is also 70. And here we have 40. The vertical angle to this one is here, so this must also be 40. Okay, so there's nothing else that I know here. I also know C is what we are trying to find. C is the same as this one. They are opposite. C is opposite to this angle. And this angle, if you see this mark, is also the same as this angle. They have the same mark. They have the same line. So this angle and this angle are the same. And this angle is also opposite to this angle. So this angle and this angle are the same. They are vertical. Okay. So now we have written everything we know. We need to find C here. Okay. So let's draw a line here. This is a straight line. So all these angles on this straight line just add to make 180 degrees. Okay. 70 plus this plus 40 must make 180 degrees. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm going to write this 70 plus 40 plus this angle, I don't know what it is, plus this angle makes 180 degrees. Now 70 plus 40, I know this makes 110. 110 plus something makes 180 degrees. 110 plus 70 makes 180 degrees. So these two must make 70 degrees. And because they are the same, 70 divided by 2, this is 35 and this is 35. So C equals 35 degrees.